And going live on audio. All right, good day, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Live the Fuel show. So this evening, we are catching up with a past first month launch of the show co-host. This young lady was back on episode 10. She's cracking up right now. Yeah. I still consider her a young lady. Episode 10, ladies and gentlemen, was NSNG and Eat Happy. But before I give you her name, dude, the girl's got some bio here, okay? She's a voiceover talent artist. I'm going to give you guys a little hint. She actually intros and outros this show, okay? She's a stand-up comedian who happens to also be celiac, living with celiac, who writes cookbooks. And we've talked about this multiple episodes because she's the author of Eat Happy Cookbook, people. She also co-hosts the Fitness Confidential podcast, another show that I blow up all the time on here. Vinny's been on here 3-4 times now at least. Andy Schreiber's been on here 3-4 times now. So she has voiced hundreds of commercials, cartoons, movies, promos, radio stations, video games. I got to catch my breath, which is a super cool day job to support her passion of food blogging and obviously the cookbook authoring. So this new cookbook has been out now, at least a year. She'll have to clarify that for me. It's become an Amazon bestseller. Eat happy, gluten-free, grain-free, low-carb recipes, joyful life. I'm a fellow NSNG lover. Without further ado, Anna Vocino, welcome back to the show.
Hello. I'm doing my Pearls Tiara wave.
There we go. I love
Hello.
that. And if you guys noticed,
that was so nice.
There's that voice. She's got that.
There it is.
It's that professional voiceover artist.
You know, when Vinny and I podcast, every single day we get a tweet about how I sound like Leah Remini. And to me, she sounds very New York. So I don't hear it. And Vinny certainly doesn't hear it because sadly I'm the voice in his head all the time. But,
and sadly, maybe it's because I'm not young or old enough. I'm 40. I know the name. Why am I not connecting on it? Who are we talking
Leah
about?
Remini is the former Scientologist lady who was on King of Queens.
Oh my God.
And now she's on the other
That's
Kevin
her name?
Wait show. Yeah.
We watched her whole documentary like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, it's fascinating, isn't it?
Right? Holy shit, that was weird.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's crazy.
Like, first of all, we've watched other Scientology documentaries, so it was a nice lead up to her episode, and I think hers was one of the best. So
yeah. Well, now she does a whole show about where she's trying to like save people from the cult of it all.
Oh, really? There's a show now.
Yeah, it's really fascinating.
Well, it is. Yeah. I mean, let's be real. It's a little culty.
It's a lot culty.
Okay, yeah. But it's quality entertainment.
I'll call them out right here. Yeah. Right here on the
Well, you live out
podcast.
there.
Yeah.
And okay. To our listeners, guys, Anna is in the thick of it. Okay. She's like surrounded by them.
And in fact, last night I was driving to something that might be equally as culty, which is Dungeons and Dragons, which I play once a week. And
are you shitting me? You're a D&D girl?
Yeah. I was driving to my D&D group in Silver Lake, and you have to drive through the whole like Scientology complex, which is right next to a giant Kaiser Permanente hospital. And it's just the weirdest assortment of things on Sunset Boulevard.
You can drive through a Scientology complex?
Well, you do, because they have buildings all over Sunset Boulevard. Like they own so much real estate.
So even after all this negative press, they haven't like started losing, I don't know, like revenue.
I don't know.
That's
exactly what I thought last time I drove by. I was like, you guys are still in business, apparently.
Yeah, their compounds are still under operation.
Good for them.
I mean, to be fair, if they were smart, they ramped up huge in the 80s, right? I think that's to her when she was talking about it. Really, the 70s to the 80s, a little bit in the 90s, and then obviously they leveled off. But if they had smart investors on their team and everything else, they could just be living off of their real estate investments and the money that they've generated.
Their real estate, if they were to ever sell, they would make a fortune.
Oh my God!
They own the primest real estate in Los Angeles.
It's crazy.
All over town, they own buildings.
Do they have any shit on fire right now? Sorry.
Well,
no. I mean, I'm not joking around because I am a former wildland firefighter. But
you are? Well, if you were here, you would be busy. No. If you were here, you would be busy because it's been insane here. The poor people, the poor folks up in Ventura and Montecito. Well, I'm not saying poor folks. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying poor because their shit's on fire. But all the folks up in Ventura and Montecito and Santa Barbara and it's crazy. Ojai is decimated. It's a mess.
I actually just had.
What are you? Did you dip your thumb in your wine?
No, I spilled a little. Ladies and gentlemen, I am putting a little life into living right now because I'm actually enjoying some red wine because it's been a long day. And Anna is as well. and I started talking with my hands. I told you before we started recording.
No, tell them why you're drinking a glass of wine.
Oh, yeah. So I had already proposed to her though, right? So, okay. So ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't heard on the prior episodes, I am engaged now as of like August.
Congratulations.
Thank you. According to some of my friends, I decided to finally man up, whatever. Some of us guys are a little slow. So, and I'm definitely one of them. You ladies appreciate that honesty. Usually that's the response I get. But yeah, no, I finished business meetings from like 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. And then I live in Allentown, Pennsylvania. So I'm about an hour and a half west of New York and about an hour north of Philly. So I drive all the way the hell back down to Philadelphia because we went down there for her to find the perfect ring at the famous Steven Singer Jewelers, where their
plug for Steven Singer Jewelers.
Yeah, right. Like their tagline is "I hate Steven Singer," which, to be fair, they're actually really nice there. Why is
that their tagline? Because you spend all your money there?
Maybe. Yeah, because we're probably going to go back and buy the wedding bands. And then the original ring, again, as I hinted at, was her mother's engagement ring. So now she has to get a different stone to set in there. So because she needs that for a decorative ring. So, one ring turns into two. Apparently that's a thing. So,
and it's going to be many more rings.
God,
I've been married 18 years. Let me tell you what.
Come on now.
There will be more diamonds to be purchased. So
you're killing me, Anna.
Gird yourself.
There's no girding. There's just me trying to drink some wine.
I did it the old-fashioned way. I just got knocked up, and I trapped him into marrying me. So,
why don't you show our YouTube feed what comes out of you getting knocked up? What happened on your arm?
Oh, out of my arm. Oh, yeah, my 18-year-old.
There we go on the webcam.
Can you see it?
Lucy, yep.
Of her own name, by the way.
Yeah.
This is my first tattoo, so I will not be able to be buried in a Jewish cemetery, which is
really that's a thing.
Yeah, you can't. If you've defaced your body, you can't be buried in a Jewish cemetery.
No shit.
I'm also not Jewish, so that would also impede me.
Well, Anna Vocino is kind of Italian. Just throwing that out there.
She gave me a needle tattoo with a needle. She goes and does it with the needle.
Well, and again, so that's okay. We joked around earlier to your listeners. Again, one thing I love about Anna, Vinny, Andy. Andy actually is more focused, I will say, on our episodes. This is a conversational format show. We never know where the hell it's going to go. So real quick on the side note, again, yes, we are going to talk about the Heavy Cookbook, but apparently her daughter is so artistic that she knows how to do a prison style tattoo. Yeah. Which is literally done physically by hand, right? There's no machines.
Yeah, with a needle and ink, and you sit there and you just do it. You do it over and over again.
So you need a lot
of a big complicated one, but like
you need a lot of patience for that.
Yeah.
Because it takes longer, right? Because you don't have like the powered. I have tattoos.
That's what they teach them at the Cooper Union School for Art and Architecture and
Engineering. Is this what you're paying for?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not making fun. I'm just actually having fun with this. I'm
okay with it.
Like, hey, great, my girl's in college now, and
I told her to start charging. Start charging people. Why are you doing this for free? Make a business out of it.
I know some very amazing tattoo artists who have tattooed my body, and I will tell you, it's a very successful profession.
Yeah.
So, especially if she chooses to go back to LA, people love throwing around money out there. Yeah. And actually, come on, tattoos are a thing now, man. I see all these movie stars rocking them, football stars are rocking them.
I have my tiny one, and now I want more.
They do say that.
Yeah.
They say
I'm not tattooing NSNG though, so forget about it.
No. I mean, we all love NSNG.
We do.
Again, to our listeners, NSNG, no sugar, no grains.
Yes.
Okay. It's a lifestyle. It's a thing. I could not find, I had to put on my podcaster shirt because I was trying to find my bacon and eggs shirt and I could not find it. Again, to our listeners, we're talking about Vinnie Tortorich and the Fitness Confidential podcast, which Anna is obviously the co-host on. And the crazy shirts that he freaking comes up with. The best part is I wear that shirt to my CrossFit gym to go work out.
Yeah.
And people are like, hell yeah, bacon and eggs.
That's good.
So
what do they think of the fuck quinoa shirt? Have you ever worn that one?
I don't have that one.
Wears that all the time.
Well, because I've always said fuck quinoa. So I just thought, well, I don't really need to buy it. I don't know. See, I eat bacon and eggs every day. So that's why I was like, that's my shirt. That's my jam.
Did you hear one time I was telling about the story about I was in the sauna about 6 months ago, and this guy who looks like he has the body of Mighty Mouse, like he's just bowed out, like just like just like roid it out. And then like the head of Kim Jong-un, he's the other one, right?
From North Korea we talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
He was a bizarre like assortment of looks. And but he was talking super bro-y, man. And then he was talking about how like, because this was about 6 months ago, so it's the middle of summer. He's like, yeah, it's summer, dude. So I stopped eating carbs for the summer, man. You know, I'm only eating quinoa. And I was like, oh, bro, okay.
Wait a minute, hold on. So quinoa is like not a carb, right? Because it's a protein-rich grain,
bro. It's a seed.
Yeah. Again, to our listeners, guys, we're talking about like we're discussing bro talk because I left the traditional gym world for that exact reason. I was losing brain cells just hanging out there,
just having conversations.
And a lot of people say that about CrossFit gyms. And I'm like, actually, I have very great conversations. Like I hang out and work out with the owner of the gym that I drop into. I just drop in, work out with him, and we talk about marketing and shit because that's my thing. That's my jam.
That's great.
So like we talk about a couple of lifts here and there. But we end up talking about marketing, and I don't know. Like we're not doing bro science, man. Like quinoa, hell yeah.
Yeah, but my gym is in North Hollywood, which is a very inexpensive neighborhood in Los Angeles. And I say inexpensive; it's relatively inexpensive. So a lot of
hold on, real quick. I gotta pause you. What's relatively inexpensive? Like in like a 10 to 20 grand window, or like a. Well, in a 50,
like Beverly Hills or like Malibu would be crazy expensive. So if you're an actor who's new to town or a writer who's new to town, you haven't had any jobs yet and you're working a survival job, you wouldn't move to one of those neighborhoods. You would move to North Hollywood where things are affordable. And then you would be sad that you don't live in someplace cool like Silver Lake or Echo Park, which used to be affordable, but now all the hipsters have driven the prices up. So a lot of these bros that go to my gym are like, these actor dudes who literally spend 6 hours in the gym because they don't do anything else but like make themselves look camera ready should the opportunity come, which I get. That's their job.
Yeah, but hold on. The guy you just talked about doesn't sound camera ready. I just hear about a giant Kim Jong head on a swollen body.
Who knows? Maybe he'll be the lead in the next David Chase series. I don't know. But no, he didn't seem like the type, but there's a lot of like drop dead, gorgeous people speaking bro speak at this particular gym. And it's really annoying. And I can kind of like float by invisible because I'm the middle-aged lady who no one takes a second glance at. And then I wind up writing down everything they say and I use it as podcast content.
I truly do enjoy when you and Vinny like spin off on your quick little spa, or I should say, well, it's what do you guys call it now? The sauna?
Tales from the Sauna.
Tales from the Sauna, yes.
Well, you know what? I switched to the Burbank gym, the Burbank 24-hour fitness, because it's much more chill. But I think for content, I have to go back to North Hollywood. It
really does sound like a great place for entertainment. And actually sometimes some drama. I mean, didn't you say there's a guy in there practicing knife tossing or some shit?
Practicing his switchblade, like he was like doing this whole routine, and people were like, first of all, nobody said anything, including me. I was like, what? It's like, is he going to crack? Is he going to like stab somebody? No, he's like a stunt man. He's like practicing. Is like, and so people are like just edging by him, like trying to like, okay, I'm going to go.
Yeah, that's
don't stab me.
Not just awkward, just fucking dangerous. Just gonna throw that out there.
Why do you do it in a sauna?
Yeah, really weird.
Do it. I mean,
is that going to be the role that he's trying to get in a movie? That you have to be able to.
Maybe he was practicing. He has to be a hot knife guy.
I got this.
Okay.
He has to have so much control and confidence over the movement of a switchblade knife that he can do this under a stressful situation when his hands are sweaty. So he needed to get his hands sweaty to prove to himself that he actually had full control over that knife. Or
he's playing the part of a demon dog in hell, and it's so hot there, but he has to show that he can use the switchblade even though it's really hot, or else his boss, the devil, will cut his face off.
Wow. You definitely have worked in film, which I don't even know where to go with that.
There's nowhere to go.
You stumped me on that one. Real quick, since you brought that up before we started recording today, for our listeners too, like we obviously teased you the fact that she's actually the voiceover artist for many, many things. But you did have a career in film before becoming, author of a super freaking healthy cookbook and becoming a voiceover artist and all this other podcast champion. Like, how long were you in film?
I worked in TV. I mean,
TV film.
God, I've been doing commercials since I was very young. So, but like 20 years, I would say 20 years.
Damn. All right.
Yeah.
So that's a hustle. How does one get into
it's
this?
A hustle.
Everybody talks about it, right? Like, oh man, you got to move to California and then you got to sell your soul.
No. I started in Atlanta, and Atlanta's actually a really good place to be an actor because not when I was there, but now they're filming every movie there. And all of my friends who stayed in Atlanta get a part in every movie that comes to town, which is awesome.
Wow.
And then you get residuals on movies. No, but I started when I was 20 years old. I was at Emory University, and some friends of mine and I started an improv theater company called Whole World Theater, which is still in Atlanta on Spring Street and 14th Street. And so when I was 20, that's 24 years ago. And the theater is still going strong. And so we started this theater just because we loved doing improv comedy, and local agents came and kind of scouted us. Like, we didn't know, I had no idea what I was doing, but then you kind of start to book work, and you know, and then we did a whole pilot for Fox there. And then we decided, my husband and I decided, we had our 2-year-old at that point. We were like, we can either move to New York or LA. And if you have a 2-year-old, New York is not appealing of an option because it's difficult.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, and it's a lot of money, and it's a lot of steps because you're certainly going to get a walk up because you can't afford anything else. You know, it's a whole thing. So we decided on LA, and that's how we came out there. And then people we worked with at our theater, you know, it's definitely a relationship business. It's a who you know business. And so people that we came up with who are dear friends in our theater wound up getting some traction here. And then when, like, one guy was able to pitch a show, you know, we all made shows together and did our first sketch comedy show for Spike TV in 2005. And then we wound up doing a series for VH1 and Comedy Central in 2007 and 2009. You know, so stuff kind of like went and are you okay? What's going on?
I'm just going to grab a towel.
Did you really spill that much wine? You're a sloppy drinker.
I don't drink when I podcast. It's very rare. So.
I'm a bad influence.
Well, I just want to move your cookbook closer, and I was going to clean a spot for it.
Well, then it's okay.
Oh, now it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. See, again, our listeners are just living in the moment with us. See, I'm literally polishing my standing desk and cleaning off my spilled red wine. See, we're giving you play-by-play.
That's good.
Because apparently I am also, yes, a sloppy drinker.
Do you think you have any listeners who are like, I want to be an actor and I want to move to New York or LA?
Well, if they weren't before, you just made it sound not too complicated.
It's very complicated and it's soul crushing and it will hurt your feelings. So you better be tough. But if you can't do anything else, then you got to do it. And I get it.
Well, and I love the hustle behind it because our mutual friend, Michael O'Neill.
Yes.
He was my first ever episode 001. You were 010. Yes. You were number 10. He's number 1. You guys helped me kick this puppy off the ground. So I love you all. I love Michael. But he brings that up all the time. Like, he's a big fan of comedians like yourself, right? That's part of your background. And because it takes fucking hustle. Like, I love promoting that to the listeners. Like, guys, like, you can't beat a perfect example of the behavioral trait that it takes to be an entrepreneur. Hello, you're trying to build a brand behind your name as a comedian professional that is going to potentially be berated off the stage. Right. I don't know. Is that a sum up? I don't know. How would you sum that up better?
Well, yeah. I mean, you got to go up there and you got to make people laugh and also show them a slice of who you are and be authentic. You have to make them like you and make them laugh. And right now, my husband's a comedy writer, and we're doing a dual stand-up act about marriage because we've been married 18 years now, and it's cheaper than therapy to go up on stage and rip into each other about that stuff. But like, we
never thought about that. That's a good idea.
But it's when I say we do a dual stand-up act about marriage to bookers, it's not something, you know what I mean? It's like, they're like, wait, what? That's weird. Yeah. And we're like, we know it's weird. Get us on stage. And then it goes well. And they're like, oh my God, that's amazing. It's so different. Oh my God, we love it. So it's a hustle about like, we have to show up. I have to send clips to people. I have constantly got to be talking to people. I've constantly got to be talking to bookers. And also too, a lot of things with Hollywood, which is true in all business, is that sometimes people you want to do business with do not want to do business with you. And so how much time do you spend trying to convince them to do business with you, or go, okay, it's not a match, and then let me try my efforts over here?
You see, that's sales and marketing 101.
Exactly.
Everybody thinks they got to sell everybody or market to everybody. It's like, no, dude, you develop your niche right?
Yep.
And that's what I'm hearing from you. You're just applying it in a different situation, different demographic, but it's the same behavioral process. It's like, okay, clearly you're a douche. I don't want to work with you. I'm going to focus on these people.
Completely.
Yeah. I mean, granted, I just took a whole lot of marketing speak and really dumbed it down. But that's basically what it is. It's like, man, I just don't like those people. Why am I trying to sell to them? Right? Let's focus on this is my audience, man. These are my people. This is who I want to work with. These people are fun.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
Now, how long did it take you to figure that out?
Well, a long time, because I think at the root of being a performer is I want people to see me and like me. You know what I mean? I want to please them. I want to entertain you. I want to make you laugh. And so you have two things happening at once. You have the business side of things. So you have just gatekeeper after gatekeeper saying, no, we have enough of you. You're too old. You're too this. You're too fat. You're too skinny. You're too pretty. You're not pretty enough. Like saying all these gatekeeper things at the same time that you have, and I'm yelling, I'm all fired up. And then at the same time you have, when you do get to, that's why I love stand-up or improv, is because that's the only time you get to do what you do. That's the only time that you get to get on stage and call the shots. But you still, so if you wind up gaining an audience, which I've been lucky enough to gain an audience, then you want to please them too. So it's two sets of like, who do I please? It's like, I don't know what the answer is. I haven't figured it out, but it's, if I keep putting out content that I believe in, then I'll please the audience people. And if I just keep hammering, eventually I tend to have found the people who say, oh, you know what? I get you. I like you. I want to put you in this thing, or I want to put you guys on stage, or, you know what I mean? Eventually, but you have to keep casting a net.
Actually, a great way to put it. Keep casting your net. I like that. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Well, here's the best part. You spent all those years doing that. You spent all those years building up that, as some people like to call it, the thick skin, right? It's like, hey, man, I've taken a few beats, little hits. I've had to toughen up a little bit. Male, female, whatever lifestyle you got.
Yeah.
I think that anybody who's really trying to build a successful path in life, you better have a thick skin story. I'm just throwing that out there.
I think too, it's like, I agree with the thick skin thing in the sense that, like, if you've just had your first big disappointment in business or in entertainment, gird your loins, because it's going to happen a million more times, but it doesn't make it any less shitty. You know what I mean?
Oh, no. Hell no. Let's be real.
The half-life of the terrible feelings has lessened. I'll go ahead and tell a failure story, because those are fun for everyone else but me. I worked on this video game, this huge video game, for about 2.5 years. And I'm not going to say what it is. But it was one of the biggest video games of 2016. And I worked on it for 2.5 years, and it was a big deal. And I was very excited about the character. And it was one of the first times I had done a big lead role that it takes that long to record all the sessions. And of course, all the animators have been working for years, and writers and stuff have been working for years on this before the voices had even come to play. But I was very excited about it. And it was getting close to the time that it was coming out. And I had even voiced the commercials for it. My character in it. Sometimes your character doesn't make it in the commercial, but it was like a big, I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. And she was so cool. And, I had hired a dialect coach, because it was a very specific dialect, and I want to make sure I get it right. And I don't want to say the dialect, because video game fans will know what I'm talking about. And so, and that's one of my specialties too. That's why I get hired, because I do a shit ton of dialects. And for video games, there's always a bunch of,
Yeah. I mean, if you're a D&D girl, I mean, you better have some kind of connection to the video game world too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So come to find out, I look on IMDb, because I was like, oh, they announced the game and it's on IMDb. And I look and I was like, oh, that's funny. They put another girl in my part. And then I was like, oh no. And then I looked, and that woman who was listed under my part, not my part anymore, was a native born of the place that they wanted to do that. And I was like, oh, I've been replaced. I've been replaced. And
because she had a better dialect, because it was more real?
Maybe.
Well, that makes sense.
I would assume so, since she was born there.
Still sucks, but...
It does suck, and it hurt a lot. And so I just emailed my agent. I was like, I think I was fired from this, and that's shitty. And I mean, if any good came out of it, the production company felt so guilty. They hired me for several more games after that.
Nice.
Yeah.
So lesson here was maybe you didn't fit that initial job.
Exactly. But that's a big one, and I don't know what to say. Sometimes you don't get the big thing that you thought you were going to get, and you have to pick yourself up. And I got to say, if that happened 10 years ago, I would have been devastated for months. I went through such a huge depression period when one of my shows was canceled. I couldn't handle it. It was like 3 years. But you know what happened was that I started doing voiceover then, and that's when my career took off with voiceover, because I just couldn't handle trying to be on camera again.
So do you feel, I'm intrigued by this. So do you feel, and again, to our listeners, guys, we're going to get to that cookbook. Okay. This is just,
it doesn't matter. No one cares.
It's like, you know what? Just go to Amazon and buy You Have a Cookbook. Boom. Done.
Done.
But it's important to understand this, because I'm hearing that, were you upset because of the fact that you just put all your hustle into that show and it was this exciting project? Or was it like the financial aspect? Because I don't even know how you get paid for this
not
shit.
The financial.
Like, do you get paid only if it goes publicly and live? Or how's that work?
No, you get paid per session for video games. You don't get like residuals. I think
so you just sitting down and doing, you still got paid?
Oh yeah, no, I got paid for doing the sessions, but it's not like there's no residuals, which means
every time you hear your voice, you get paid.
Like most things, but not with video games. So it wasn't about the money. It wasn't like, oh, I'm missing out on all this money. That was not an issue at all. For me, it was a career jump to be able to be such a large character in such a huge video game, and it was such a cool game, and I loved everybody in it, and the fact that they didn't tell me directly that I was fired, that I found out by looking at IMDb. So a lot of it was like, it's like an ego thing, like it hurt my pride, but ultimately, yes, it stings, but what are you going to do? Nothing. And like I said earlier, the half-life of the pain is way shorter than what it used to be. And now I can tell
because you built it up. You got experience.
That's what I use it for. Yeah. I have had experience being rejected.
Yeah. No. Actually, I tell people all the time, and this just came up on an episode that I just aired this week with Isaiah Henkel. He's a well-renowned speaker, traveler, author guy, educated in behavioral psychology. And he works with a lot of big-time businesses. And we talked a lot about that, where it's like, listen, again, classic best practices, right? If you're not failing, you're not learning.
True.
You need to fail over and over again to learn some of the most powerful things in life, business, etc. And this applies to health. This applies to business.
It applies to everybody every day because, well, here's the thing. I have figured out over the years that when something like that happens, it's usually activating a negative belief set that I'm holding about myself. And so the fact of the matter is that I wanted to do a good job. Of course, we all want to do a good job. I wanted to be a good performer. I wanted to be a good team player. I wanted to serve the material and have a good time. And I wanted to do a good job for what I was hired to do. And when you're replaced, you go, oh no, is this activating the fear that I have deep down that I actually legitimately suck? Or that I'm terrible.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So it activates those things. And then you go, okay, this is an opportunity right here. This failure is an opportunity to go, are you going to sit and wallow in the, I must be terrible because I got replaced? Or are you going to say, no, you know what? I'm not terrible. I did a good job. I did the best I could. And I'm going to move on. And I'm going to learn from it.
So what I'm hearing from you, if I'm hearing you properly, and if I'm listening, is that you technically still do have those thoughts to this day. It's just that the life cycle of them is a hell of a lot shorter.
Yeah.
So the truth of the matter here is that it happens, man. We're going to keep having it.
It's going to. We can't help it. We're humans. You know what I mean? And if we're humans, and if you're an entrepreneur too, it's the same energy. We're all creating something new and putting it out there and hoping people buy it.
Yeah. Right.
So whether
because we're taking our shit seriously, we're putting a lot of ourselves into that project, into that product launch, into that role or that voiceover situation, into that cookbook. If things start going wrong, it's going to stress us out a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to bring up. Chances are, it's going to bring up whatever your individual fear is. It could be like, I'm afraid that I'm invisible, or I'm afraid that I am. There, people are going to figure I'm a fraud, or I'm afraid that, you know what I mean? We all have these kind of root things that we kind of play out over and over again. And sometimes we win and we don't have to experience those feelings. And sometimes we lose and it awakens it.
Well, so honestly, these are all things though that have built you to your professional standing that you have today. So,
for sure.
Like, I'm sure you're a hell of a lot more confident going up on a comedic stage these days than you were in the past.
Yes, of course, for sure.
Here, when you guys record, when you and Vinnie kind of do your little stage stick, that was awesome. When you guys started doing those this past year, I thought that was great. Where the heck is that at?
Oh, you mean the live shows?
Yeah, the live shows.
Oh,
yeah, but it's at a comedy place.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
I don't know why he's not doing them anymore. Those were really fun.
Those were fun. Yeah, because it was real. It was transparent. It got Vinnie to exercise some of his comedic style, which is just who he is, natural.
Right.
You're there with him, and it's just it's like the show on the road type of thing. It's a live show, but you guys booked it like it was because you did it at the Ice House?
Ice House, yeah.
Ice House, yeah.
Flappers, yeah.
I thought those were great. I was cracking up.
Thank you. I loved them. Yeah. I got to remind him because we were thinking of trying to go to other cities with it.
Well, look at the success of did you go on any of those road trips to, I don't know, again, to our listeners, guys, Fitness Confidential, I have no problem plugging them. One of my, I don't know if you follow Twitter. I post every damn show you guys do. Like I listen to it on Stitcher and I click share.
Nice.
Share. And Vinnie jokes around too. He's like, you're always sharing my show. And I'm like, yeah, I'm a loyal listener and I'm a podcaster too, because I like what you guys do. And I want to keep, you guys are way the hell more successful than I am, but you also been doing it a long time.
I know, almost 6 years now.
Right? That's crazy.
What are we going to do at 10 years? Do we just quit? Do we stop?
Well, in the business space,
too much.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. There's that concept, right?
That's true.
But if things are starting to level off and you're starting to lose the passion, then you look at maybe doing a rebrand or a relaunch in a different style or a different way. It's something to consider because you gotta have passion. You gotta know, you can't just do it because we've always done it. Because then you start losing the energy that you guys bring forth on every episode.
We're still having a good time.
Oh, hell yeah.
I feel like at 10 years, we'll be like, wait, what's happening?
I'm even waiting for like Nicole Racine to become like the regular official co-host like you and Andy are, because that girl has been getting a lot more cycling. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. She's great.
Yeah.
I think I got 2, 3, 4 more cookbooks in me.
You totally do. Yeah, let's get on with the cookbook. Okay, let's jump in here because we just got done promoting how you learned all these amazing entrepreneurial lessons. And this is another one of those things where like, holy shit, like you didn't just put a ton of work into this thing. You also took a huge leap and a huge risk. Like, oh my God, I'm going to launch a physical product.
Yeah, it made no sense.
Right? All these people like John Lee Dumas and all these other people, like nowadays he now has a physical product, but a lot of these online gurus launch digital products. You technically launched a digital product first. You did launch the Kindle.
The Kindle, only because I couldn't find a printer in time who would print the book on the nice quality paper that I wanted.
I loved your attention to detail on that. Again, to our listeners, guys, I aired her back September 30th, 2016 on episode 10. What was your launch date?
October 4th.
Okay, boom. Yeah. Right.
So that was right. I was right in the middle of
I was trying to help. I was a younger platform, but I was trying to help build steam.
You can kind of see the letters on the other side, but when it lays flat, I don't want you to be able to see the letters on the other side of the page. It has to be a thick enough paper.
Oh, you don't want the stamp to come through.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that so much to ask?
When I listened to your episodes about that, like I never knew that kind of thought goes into a cookbook, but when you explain it, it makes perfect freaking sense.
Yeah.
And again, to our listeners, I'm showing my book right here. Look at that.
There it is, Jackie Split Pea Soup.
Yeah. So,
by the way, I made the lemony chicken thighs tonight for dinner out of here, which are one of my favorite.
Actually, tell you what, I have not bookmarked any of this. This is all my fiance.
Oh, she's sweet.
For example, this chick has a crazy obsession with baked macaroni and cheese. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you.
Zucchini one in there. The zucchini mac and cheese.
Is this the zucchini
bechamel?
Bechamel. What the hell is bechamel?
Bechamel is it used to be flour and milk and a little bit of butter and a little bit of nutmeg and salt, but it makes a cream. So when you have a lasagna made in Europe, they don't sprinkle cheese all over it like we do here. They make a bechamel sauce, and it's creamy and it's smooth.
Right.
Right. And then maybe you top it with some Parmesan.
Yeah.
A bechamel sauce is just a basic, it's one of the French sauces.
Yeah.
That you learn.
So years ago, before my firefighting days, I was in like the call center world. I did a lot of coaching, development, and then became an analyst, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we'd have these, I would create these team building events where I'm like, hey guys, let's do a potluck. And I would use, when I used to eat grains, which I actually never ate pasta except for my mom's baked macaroni and cheese, right? So thanks to your cookbook, I now found a healthy way to make that. But my point was, I used to do the whole boil the pasta that some mom did. And then we used like 4 different freaking cheddars. And like we cheese the shit out of that dish.
I still use 4 different kinds of cheeses in the zucchini mac and cheese. But I use a bechamel at the root, and then you add 4 different. It's you're exotic. Expensive because it has those 4 cheeses, and it's a lot of cheese.
Well, let's be real. If you're gonna do a proper baked mac and cheese, you better have some serious cheese going on. Yeah, that's how I look at it.
See what's in there: some Fontina, some Gruyere, some.
Oh yeah, is that cheddar? How you say that? Gruyere.
Gruyere.
I'm always saying like Gruyere. Gruyere. Fontina.
Gruyere?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your pancetta.
Yeah.
Yeah, pancetta.
Oh yeah, pancetta crumb, like with the almond flour and pancetta and butter.
We never owned almond flour until your cookbook.
Yeah. I feel like the almond flour industry owes me a thank you.
Dude, holy crap, you blew them up. In this cookbook, I was like, oh my God, I never thought about using it for that.
You know what's hard to find is organic almond flour. So that's something I'm actually looking into figuring out.
Except with your guys' show's new sponsor.
Oh, do they have organic on Thrive?
Yeah. I'm a member now because of you guys. I joined because of Vinnie. I could have sworn, because I was buying it through Whole Foods, and I know how much he loves Whole Foods.
Well, you have to get it where you can get it. I get it at Ralph's, but I can never find organic.
And we don't have Ralph's,
Amazon, right? And they didn't have an organic on Amazon.
I could have sworn that I ordered it through their maybe that site.
They have it now, so never mind. I won't do it.
Yeah,
I'm not doing it.
The only thing that's annoying with their site is like, if you go right to their site, again, listeners, I don't get paid for this, but I will say Thrive Market, I like representing sites and brands that, got their shit together.
Right.
But they're trying to filter me. Oh, what do you shop for? I just stop it. Just take me to the damn product page. Flour.
How come I don't hear you clacking on the keyboard like when I type?
I have a soft touch keyboard. I like to get all sensual. Here we go. I'm gonna go with some sharing. There we go. Sharing is caring. Look, if you look across the toolbar here, if I click on products, like there's no little search window. Like I just want to plug in organic
need to work that out.
Almond flour, dude. Like, come on. But you see now, if I go back to, I'm not kidding you, but now if I go to my site, there's a nice little search window.
Yeah.
And then when you type in
I have a search window on my recipe box.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you go to livethefuel.com and you go to my search window and you type in Vocino, you will find her first episode 10. And obviously, when you listen to this episode, you'll find this one too. So, but let's go back. Anyway, yeah, there's no easy search window. But I could have sworn my first box.
Weird. They didn't work that out. Hold on. Now I want to go on mine.
Yeah, it's very frustrating.
I can't because now you're taking up my whole screen.
Oh, hold on. Stop share. Boom. There you go.
No, it's all right. Hold on. I'm trying to look at your whiteboard and steal all your ideas. I got them. I got them. Too late, Scott.
Yeah, take a screenshot. There you go. I don't even know what's on there. I change that like every week. It's crazy. I do a mind dump. It's one of my mental exercises. There's a little life practice, ladies and gentlemen. I have a whiteboard next to my desk, and I do a once a week mind dump. And then if I haven't really figured it all out yet, I take a photograph with my phone, and then I save it in Evernote. So there's my practice, because sometimes I just gotta
you do that regularly.
Weekly.
See, that's my problem is that I'll every couple of months I come up with a new system and then I don't do it. And then I just have like all these papers with mind dumps. Cause it's like, you have ideas. I have ideas.
We're vibing. Okay. Like everybody's like, oh man, you got a journal. And I'm like, okay, here you go. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, I got journals, dude. Okay.
I have all the journals.
I got a library.
John Lee Dumas, I have all of his journals.
Yeah. And then, thank you.
I'm addicted to buying journals at the store and pens. Yeah, I got the Freedom Journal. I got the Mastery Journal.
Freedom Journal, Mastery Journal.
I have those too.
Hey, look at Mastery. I never even opened it.
I know, that's mine too. In fact, I ordered the Kickstarter where you get like 4 of them, and I'm trying to give them to people because I'm like, here's your Christmas present.
I did the same thing.
But I do love it because I'm always like, but then I have the notes in my iPhone too. It's like, I have notes with just jokes.
Best practice.
Notes with just recipes.
Best practice is,
my brain is insane.
I do social media and brand growth for some of my clients, and I can literally do everything off of my iPhone. I've gotten that freaking good at it. Like I got all the apps. Like I could just sit here and just do this, but I'm actually making money doing this versus some people are just sitting there doing this and they're not doing anything.
Right.
So, and I'm 40, mind you. I'm not a millennial. So, but the point here is that
a millennial.
No, I'm a solid Gen X. Okay,
I'm solid Gen X.
Yeah.
You're tail end Gen. I don't even think you're Gen X. I think you're.
I'm 77.
I
born
thought Gen
77.
75.
That's solid Gen X. Or I'm the
75 ended Gen X. You're young.
See, Gen Y got absorbed by somebody.
Gen Y got absorbed by millennials.
Really? I thought it was the other way. Wow.
Because my little brother, my half brother, was born in 1980. And he was always Gen Y. And then all of a sudden now he's a millennial. I'm like, the hell you are.
Bullshit. Okay.
Bullshit.
Fine. Yeah, check it out. Boom. Google. 1961 to 1981.
No! Oh my God. My friends who were born in 80 are going to be so upset.
Now, let's be real. I got your back on this one. 80 and forward. Sorry, millennial.
Yeah.
I'm just going off of decade change. Don't give me the Gen 61.
Google Gen Y.
I haven't done that since they got absorbed. Hold on. Reshare.
Gen Y anymore.
The YouTube feed is going to get all this great content. Okay. What's going on here now? So we've
millennials
got. Let me zoom in.
What is that? You're a millennial. You're 77.
See,
Generation X, 65 to 76.
That's bullshit. No. See, now this is from a different website.
All I know is that when I read Douglas Copeland's Generation X, it said it ended in 1975, and I figured since he wrote the book.
Oh, well, okay, fine. You got to throw a fancy name out there.
Well, here we go. Author of it.
What is the Y generation? The generation of people born during the 80s and early 90s. I'm 77. So everywhere else that I've looked, except for that guy's book, hold on. You get the Z shit. What is Gen X, Y?
Except for that guy's book and the top search in Google, the search result.
That came from this site called Gen HQ. I don't even. That's just they paid for rank.
That's a real site.
That's a real site.
That looks like real news.
Hold on. Well, let's go to the. Well, here's what we can trust. Let's go to Wikipedia. I mean, we can sort of trust that.
Early 80s.
Millennials, also known as Gen Y. See, that's wrong too, though. Gen Y,
that's what I'm saying. It was Gen Y, and now everyone's called millennials.
See, I always consider Y between the X and the millennials. Here's the thing. In the end, this show is targeted to Gen X, whatever the hell Y is, and the millennials. So, because
in the end, this is a dumb discussion.
It's very dumb. I think we can get back on target. But the point is, you and I are older-ish, and we're trying to give back to the next generation, right?
Yes.
So the one thing that I love about the fact that you created this book is not just to get us back on target, but also for the value is that, like, here's another example besides buying organic almond flour. What am I showing on this photo?
Oh, good Lord.
Right?
That is my Paderno spiralizer, which I still own to this day. And use every couple of months. I mean, no, a couple times.
Bought the book. We started geeking out about it. We didn't own one. Kristen's mother, my fiance, her mother, boom, Christmas gift last year.
It's a good gift. It's $35.
Well, see, now I found there's a stainless steel one. Is that better?
No, you don't need that.
That's pretty sexy.
No, you don't
I do love stainless steel.
It's another thing to put on the counter. You don't need it.
Come on. Now, see, I don't like stuff on the counter, though. See, I keep this in the cabinet. So,
well, then what do you care?
Well,
you're not even looking at it.
Now, here's the thing. Here's why I got to give you some serious challenge and props. Okay, I grew up with my mother's amazing deviled eggs.
Ooh.
Okay, I can crush some serious eggs and bacon, as I hinted at earlier.
My recipe.
So, no, let me tell you. So my fiance, before your cookbook, was already kind of dabbling in the whole yogurt thing and the egg thing. And I'm like, it's making my deviled eggs taste sweet. But I will tell you, when she made your recipe, Slam dunk. So I think that's what we bring to our CrossFit gym parties.
The plain
now.
one, plain yogurt, I hope, right?
Yeah.
You said it made it taste sweet. Was it because she was using a sweeter yogurt? Sweetened yogurt?
I mean, maybe it depends on the brand of the Greek yogurt she bought. Actually, here's the thing. Okay, from the Eat Happy author herself.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the listeners listening to this right now, we're passionate people, Anna and I, about NSNG, no sugar, no grains. Here's a great lesson on how do you figure out the freaking yogurt.
Well, I will say this. Most grocery stores don't have full-fat Greek yogurt anymore.
Thank you.
It's tough to find.
Why is full fat important?
Full fat is important because we are eating more fat and we are cutting out the processed carbohydrates.
We need to be eating more fat.
We need to be eating more fat. But when folks, oh, that's weird. I just opened to the deviled eggs page without even realizing
we were meant to discuss this.
When you can either do one of two things. You can do high carb, low fat, which is a miserable thing to do to your body. And that we've been doing for years in the 80s and 90s especially. Or you can do high fat, low carb. And if you're going to do high fat, low carb, that means cutting out the sugars and grains. And that means we need to increase the fat. And then anything that's like low fat yogurt, low fat cheese, skim milk, fuck all that shit.
Yeah. You wonder why the kids are getting obese? You're giving them skim milk day in and day out at the school systems.
It's liquid sugar.
Yeah, thank you. Because you stripped all the fats out to keep it balanced and you left behind the lactose sugars. I think I said that right? Yeah.
Yeah. No, you did.
Okay.
And so for some reason, this happened to me today in Ralph's, and I hate doing this. I do try to buy with meats and stuff. I try to buy grass-fed beef, and I try to buy the free-range chickens. But today I was in Ralph's, which is a Kroger chain, and that's out in California, and they did not have they sold chicken thighs, and I was making my lemony chicken thighs. They won't sell them with the skin on. They only sell boneless, skinless chicken thighs. And it drives me crazy because they think that we just want low fat.
All right. I agree. I end up having to buy a lot of, because I do eat, I mean, whether Vinnie agrees, I eat a lot of protein. I eat a lot of meat. I eat a lot of vegetables. I eat a lot of eggs.
Me too.
And so when I go to, like, for example, we do have Costco. I will say you can find some great sources on organic source stuff at a Costco.
Costco has good stuff.
And I mean, I got to buy a sheet or a big giant pack of the chicken breasts, and they're freaking skinless and they're boneless. So
just freeze the extras. Well, I have a lot of recipes for chicken breasts, but I'm usually adding cream or something heavy. You know what I mean?
To get the fat back in.
Because chicken breasts, as Americans, we're all the phrase in our house is "What's for chicken?" Because we're always making chicken. As Americans, we make a lot of chicken.
We do make a lot of chicken.
We do.
I feel like it gets boring after a while.
It does. So that's why, I'll continue to make chicken breast recipes because that just seems to be the thing that when somebody has never been in the kitchen, they can take a chicken breast and not be intimidated by it. And they can make a recipe out of it. That seems to be the easiest thing. And it seems to be too when people are in the kitchen because that's what a lot of my audience is, are people who are new to the kitchen. And they're afraid of chicken thighs with the skin on. They're afraid of a whole chicken. They don't know what to do with it. Even though I got to say, my roasted chicken recipe is the best. I roast a chicken once a week, and it's the best.
Wait, is that the one that goes in the crock pot? Or no, that's not roasting. That's not roasting.
That you put the lemons in, and then you rub the butter on it, and rub the olive oil on it. It's so good.
I need to get my shit together.
And you set it. You do it in a smaller tray. Like you don't do it in a big roasting pan. You do it in a smaller tray. So
can I do like the square? Like if I got here's a lesson. If your whole chicken doesn't fit into the square glass casserole dish, it's not organic. It's probably it's probably a super chicken.
When I bought the super chicken thighs, because I was prioritizing the skin over everything else because I wanted the crispy skin over the roasted skin. I can't speak. And I got these chicken thighs were enormous, and I was like, okay,
they're probably modified.
But yes, do an 8x8 pan, and what you do is you slice onions kind of thickly, and you do like a flat bed of the onions, and then you set the chicken on it, and then the drippings come down, and they caramelize the onions, and it's really good. So full circle, back to the full fat Greek yogurt.
Yes.
It's tough to find in stores because a lot of grocery stores have decided that we all like non-fat and low-fat stuff. So you have to ask the people at the grocery store, can you please carry Fage, F-A-G-E? That'll be 4% fat, which is the full, that means full fat when it comes to Siggi's, S-I-G-G-I.
I do. That's the Icelandic 5%. One.
Yes. Yeah. And that one's good.
That's good. It's not full fat though. Siggi's isn't full fat.
But they have a 5% at Whole Foods.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, they do. But you have to read the label again. But then if you look and you see anything with like, it has cocoa beans or peach or
be careful.
It's all sugar. So you got to stay away from those and only look for plain.
Okay. So all right, let's say, okay, people are struggling with they're trying to figure out what we're telling them, right? They're trying to follow the book. So, okay, well, you got that initial transition period, right? They're still really hardcore putting life into living, as your term goes on the show. So, okay, I'm used to buying my fruit in the yogurt. Worst thing you could ever do. It's chock full of sugar. So, especially from a preservative standpoint. So they buy the Siggi's, let's say, 5%, got the pure plain yogurt. They take a little taste of it. Obviously, their taste buds aren't used to pure, clean food. What is the modification to help them get there? One of my hacks is sprinkling fresh ground cinnamon on there.
Perfect. That's great. I was going to say, it's going to taste a little tart.
Boring, too.
It's going to taste like tangy. It's going to have a tang to it. And it's going to taste like, yogurt tastes tangy and little like, and it's going to also be the creamiest thing you've ever eaten. You'll be like, oh my God, that's so creamy, but tangy. It's weird. I don't get it. And that's okay. I think too, a good way to ease into stuff like that is like dump a scoopful into a smoothie or dump a scoopful into other, you know what I mean? And then you kind of like are masking it. Like I have a grain-free pancake recipe in the breakfast chapter that uses Greek yogurt. And that's a good way to use it where it makes a pancake dough. And,
I was never huge on pancakes, so that's why I never even saw that recipe.
You know what? I never liked pancakes because I always felt nauseous after I ate them, and now I know why. Because they're first of all filled with gluten, which I'm allergic to, celiac, and second of all, they're super sweet and they spike your blood sugar. So no wonder I felt nauseous after I ate them. Yeah,
and you're hardcore celiac. I mean, we kind of casually we casually skimmed over that in your intro, but like there are different levels of celiac. Some people are very how do you word that? You're somebody who lives with it.
There's different levels of celiac. And if you have an autoimmune response, you have an autoimmune response.
Oh, there's no severity. No. It's just you're all in.
Yeah. You have to be all in. I mean, for anybody who's out there who was diagnosed with celiac, there's no levels. You have celiac.
Okay.
But there are different levels of gluten intolerance. So there's something called non-celiac gluten intolerant. So those are people who just feel better not eating gluten.
Right.
There's not a lot of science behind that.
Well, and let's be real. I do not have celiac. I had no gluten bullshit. I just made a decision that I barely ate grains as it was, bread and crap like that anyway, because I'm a huge health nut. I work out a lot. And then, believe me, I've got the friends and the peer pressure where it's like, dude, you just work out more, man. You'll burn through it. I'm like, yeah, that's not how it works, bro. Okay. Yeah. You ever hear of fatty liver disease? That's happening on the inside of your body. You can't see that shit.
Yeah.
Until it starts manifesting in other ways in your life.
Right.
Low diabetes, you can't see that shit. Okay. Yeah. So people need to pull their heads out of their butts. And this whole bro science that we all agree is bullshit. You got to find some legitimate education. And going back to your book, it's not a men's health mag. It's not a women's health mag with sponsored advertisements. It's like, dude, these are all recipes that you personally have tested over and over again.
Oh yeah.
Because you have celiac.
This is how I cook for myself and my family. Like this is legit. And I will always continue to do that because I love food and I love cooking, and that's just something. And I took my diagnosis of celiac in 2002 and was like, I'm gonna food blog because that helps me to process what's going on. And
that's what built you to this point, because you got to put in those reps, right? You started basically, again, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, we haven't done enough plugging of our website. Actually, I feel like I'm slacking as a marketer, but Vocino.com, and I'm going to share that again to the video feed here. So again, one thing I do like is if you actually, because we kept talking about the Eat Happy Cookbook. And I will live demonstrate this, because back when you launched your cookbook, you didn't have this set up this way. At least I don't think you did. I was upset because I Googled eathappycookbook.com and it didn't go anywhere. But now I love how you redirected it. Eathappycookbook.com does take you to annavocino.com, but it takes you specifically to your Eat Happy page for
freeze right there. Wait, freeze right there. Do you see the Eat Happy trademark right there?
You TM'd that, puppy?
Yep.
You go, girl. You got that?
Yeah, I sure did.
I'm very excited. Look at that. Hold on real quick. I have touchscreen. Boom.
Yeah.
Look at that TM.
That's for realsies.
Okay.
I have a certificate and everything. No,
I am so proud of you.
Because I didn't set it up right. And then when I had to meet with the trademark lawyer, I had to set it up right. So that's why I appreciate it.
And then obviously, next phase is
the only one who would notice that.
Whoever did your graphics, just make sure they update the graphics so the TM kind of matches the font style.
I know it does not match.
That's okay. Hey, you know what? You earned it. You got it. You stick that puppy on there. So, see, and I love that because this helps you listeners, this shows how serious this girl is. I mean, yeah, obviously she's serious. She freaking published a cookbook after years of healthy blogging. But if you're going to trademark something, this is a business lesson to your listeners out there. That shows people are committed, okay? Vinnie was so passionate about what you guys created on the podcast about no sugar, no grains. Okay, he trademarked that shit. He owns that trademark. Now Anna owns Eat Happy. Love it. You could do, because you don't know where this brand is going to go. That's I'm excited for you, Anna, too. Again, marketing guy, can't help it. I'm like, dude, the cookbook, it could spin off into a legacy of multiple cookbook editions. You can end up getting
that is definitely happening. As far as anything else, I need.
I knew you had another book in you.
I have another book coming out. It says April 1st on Amazon, but it's actually going to be changed to November 1st. But yeah,
are you going to do the same thing?
I'm going to do the same thing, and then I think
Kindle first.
Maybe it depends because now I have the printing process dialed in. So. But then I want to do like a book of just slow cooker recipes, a book of just Instant Pot recipes, a book of just grilling recipes, and.
By the way, with the next book, because I just opened the back of my book. I printed out your index. I know. There you go.
Oh yeah, you don't have the version with the index.
Yeah, right. So because I'm early. Yeah. Well, if you remember, hold on. I purposely asked for you to hand sign a couple of books, right? So I have the one where you actually shipped me personally.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Dear Scott, thank you so much for all of your support. Let's eat happy. XOXO Anna.
So much for all of your support. Scott, dear Scott.
That was my attempt at a voiceover, whatever.
That was good. That was good. That was convincing.
I do have the Heil PR40 microphone. I've had people tell me that this microphone really levels up my voice. I don't know. It's a thing.
It's a good mic.
It is. I mean, you got a way bigger pop filter and stuff, though. You got a lot going on.
Not really. This is kind of a dinky one. But wait, you want to hear my actual studio mic? Hold on.
Oh, you have more mics? Dear Lord.
This is my studio mic.
Oh, dear God. That's a whole different level. What the hell is that?
This is what I do all the promos for ABC.
You stepped out of frame, but I see mic thing in the top of the frame.
Yeah, it's
so
like
I know.
It's like here, can you see
Holy shit, that was night and day.
Yeah. The other, because this is like hidden back here in a little thing. It's my little I call it the bat cave. The veal is in the cage.
But that was a drastic shift in audio quality.
Yeah, but here's the thing. That's the Sennheiser MKH 416.
Oh, you got the Sennheiser gear? Okay, that explains everything.
That's what everybody uses in the promo world and in commercials for voiceover. Okay. This mic is the AT2020, but it's a cardioid mic, so it picks up the whole. Yeah,
so no, this is dynamic.
Tony.
Yeah,
and
this is dynamic.
What you have is better. I should actually probably have one of those for podcasting.
Oh yeah, why don't you?
I don't know.
Because I have 4 other microphones besides this.
I have literally a million microphones.
But I made sure they were all dynamic.
Yeah.
They're all dynamic.
But see, this was my old travel mic that when I would go on location, if I was in a quiet room, I could record auditions on this thing. And
but again, why wouldn't you be using dynamic if you're recording an audition?
Because you don't, for a voiceover, you just don't. Voiceover doesn't necessarily use a dynamic mic. That's a shotgun mic.
Yeah.
And it's very, that's why in the promo world, they use that one so that you could.
It's like even more dynamic. It's like, it's all about your grill.
It literally captures like this much, like you have to be right.
Okay.
But these cardioid mics were less expensive, so that's why I just got it as a second mic, as a travel mic, and I just never changed it to a dynamic mic for podcasting because screw you guys.
I like it.
I love you guys.
Well, I can tell you when I first launched, I did buy this one. I went all in right away. And I was using this as my travel mic. So and then I would unplug it out of here and then take it with me. And then I bought a shirt. This is like a $300 mic, I think.
That's not bad.
Yeah. I mean, if you care about your audio quality, because I have the Shure SM58, which is a very higher end, but below this. Yeah. And then I have the very popular Audio-Technica 2100s. I have a couple of those.
This is very similar to that one.
Yeah, the 2020. I did research that one.
Yeah.
So, but in the end, when I tested all the mics, and a buddy of mine had a friend who was an audio engineer, and he came over and helped us set up the studio like a year. I've changed a lot since then. Yeah. And he was like, "Dude, that mic is legit." He said,
"Yeah, no, it's great. It sounds like a Neumann."
Okay, I don't even know what a Neumann is.
Neumann, Neumann. It's a very fancy German mic. They do have some lower end ones, but in all like the radio stations and for video games too, they use Neumanns. They're very But see, that one is like a dynamic, so it's you're not getting a lot of room tone with it. A Neumann is extremely sensitive, and you have to be in the soundproof room.
Yeah, see, I haven't had to buy, like, I have a dry erase board right next to me, and you're not getting a lot of reflection off of that. And I haven't put any of the crazy padding up or anything else yet. So
I got padding back there, as you can see. I have padding all across the room over there.
Well, you're kind of a professional.
Well, it has to be. I mean,
it's kind of your salary.
That's true. I didn't want to build a whole booth.
No.
No one cares at this point. I'm just telling you, they've tuned out.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
You talk about that on your show as well. So, right. Well, you and Vinny joke around that too. Like by now they probably tuned out.
Yeah. We can just tell. We have like boring meter. Like, okay, that was really
But the beauty here, like, we're just being real. I mean, that's why you guys have a conversational show and I have a conversation. We're just being real people. Like,
it's more fun that way.
And you also, I love the transparency of the video because people see that, hey, you and I have built studios in our own homes.
Yeah.
Like, this is not a big deal. I mean, my fiance calls this room her other closet. So I invaded her other closet. I was like, okay, well.
Did. I was going to say, where are her clothes? They're not in there.
Hold on, I'll be real. Well, there's another whole dresser over there.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And then there's a closet behind me there.
Oh, okay.
So again, and then where my stand-up desk is right now, there used to be a whole like ottoman with a shelf thing behind it, and I got rid of all that. So
yeah,
I was like, baby, I just need a space. So, but you've got the whole corner studio thing with the sound matting, and it's legit. Yeah. So,
and Vinny and I used to set up a table in here and podcast for years together.
I remember him saying that, because I've only been listening for 4 of your 6 years, I think.
Oh,
so
that's enough. You need to stop.
Okay. I'm a borderline virtual stalker. Okay, deal with it.
Deal with it.
It was funny because I joked around with Vinny, like I think 2 episodes ago. I was like, "Where the hell has Anna been?" I was like, "I keep tweeting her. She hasn't come back on the show." And he's like, "Yeah, you got to get her back on." And then Annie comes on again. I don't know. You just never really responded. I did reach out to you.
Tweeted me to come back on the show?
Yeah.
No, I
just figured you weren't following Twitter.
No, there was an email.
And then I emailed you one time too.
And then I was like, yes.
And then I sent you this.
You had Vinny and Andy on before me, and I was like, well, screw them.
Well, dude, I've been trying to get all you on, and Vinny's whole excuse on that is he's just like, well, that's the unicorn. No one's ever done that. And I said, well, I love a challenge. And I said,
what's the unicorn? Getting Vinny back on?
No, getting all of you.
Oh, at the same time? Oh,
because, yeah. Again, the advantage.
We don't even ever see each other like as friends.
Anna, one more plug for the Zoom system. Besides, you get better audio quality than freaking Skype. It's way the hell more professional. The entry-level entrepreneur package is only $15 a month, and I can
tell Vinny.
I've been telling him.
Now. He's the producer now.
But then you guys he bitches about audio issues and you guys dropping out. And I'm like, dude, like right now, you can't see this.
By the way.
Yeah, good.
By the way, I have such a bone to pick with him because there was a phase 2 years ago where we found out Time Warner came 4 times to my house and we found out that a squirrel chewed through the internet line. It took 4 guys to figure this out. We finally figured it out. And I am legit. Look at this.
Do you have like an anti-squirrel system?
No, but I am hardwired in with the most expensive Ethernet cable you could buy.
Yes.
Because I'm not going to mess around.
I literally switched back to hardwire as well.
Yeah, because I'm not going to Wi-Fi. Forget it. It's dead to me.
Yeah. I mean, the Wi-Fi router is...
Vinny's on like a 7-year-old computer.
No, he does have a new computer.
On Wi-Fi.
No, they bought a new computer.
They bought a new computer. Oh, that's right. Yeah. But it's still, every time we podcast, it somehow shorts out. We get disconnected. I'm like, it ain't me.
Listen, I know you guys joke around how you started 6 years ago and just kind of went with it, but I'm like, all right, bro.
I know, it's enough.
I've only been at it over a year, and I've literally had people come on my show and tell me that I'm doing shit at a whole different level than other people's shows, and I'm only a year old. Well, I'm over a year old now. And I was like, that's only because I'm a geek and I do figure this shit out. Like, I'm not just in the gym half the time. Yeah, I can.
I'm not just a pretty face, meathead gym rat.
Yeah, come on. Seriously.
Seriously.
But no, seriously. I mean, Andy, by the way, loves Zoom as well. Like,
well, then Andy needs to tell him because Andy's the boss of Vinny.
That's what I told him. I'm like, Andy.
I used to be the boss of Vinny, but I'm not the boss of him anymore.
Crack the whip. Crack the whip.
Yeah, he doesn't listen to me.
Just make a move. Like, when you level up, like, he can support 50 people, man. Hold on, let me do the same thing. There we go. Double time. Well, actually, if you speak, your camera will actually take over my camera. So now you speak.
Are we blocking? Oh, is it doing a live switch?
Yeah.
Well, that's fancy.
Oh, yeah, it'll do that. So I can't see it right now.
Pretending to cut vegetables for a picture?
Oh, I like that.
Right there.
Very, very, very classy. I did notice that. I'm like, is that staged? Because
completely staged. Hold on, we lost your focus on your camera now because we held the book up.
See if it refocuses. Hold on. Wow, that's fun. I've never had that happen. Your Eat Happy shut down my fancy web camera.
I have to go anyway.
Okay, good. I know.
Ooh, there you are.
So there it is. That was me speaking at the last podcasting conference. That was it. I bought a new suit for
That's awesome.
Yeah. So apparently I could speak and do things too. Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, Anna Vocino has aired on our show for the second time. This is pretty badass.
This is very exciting.
She's a hot little Italian. She knows how to write some seriously hot, Eat Happy recipes for the holiday season. Because I will air this before Christmas. I'm going to bump some other people the hell out of the way. You need to be scoring some Eat Happy love. Okay, just give a try. Taste what sugar-free or almost completely sugar-free. You do have one or two, dessert recipes in it. Let's be real.
In the dessert chapter, there are 12 dessert recipes, and 8 of them have some form of sugar in them. For sure, I'm not like a monster. You know what I mean?
You're allowing them to put a little life into living.
Of course.
Because let's be real, it's not a cheat day. It's a cheat meal or a cheat snack, not a freaking cheat day.
Exactly. We're not gonna get carried away.
Yeah. So again, ladies and gentlemen, AnnaVocino.com, eathappycookbook.com. Doesn't matter. Takes you the same place. All over Amazon. We're going to hyperlink all this shit in the show notes like I always do. Okay, you can click. You can follow her. She's on Twitter. She's on Instagram. The brand Eat Happy Cookbook is on Twitter, on Instagram, also on Facebook. And you have a private Facebook community, right?
Yes, the Eat Happy Facebook group.
Boom. I'm also a member of that. I highly recommend that. She shares some epic recipes. Like, I love seeing everybody using your cookbook. It's actually amazing. And people start tweaking your thing too.
Oh, yeah, it's great. People come, hey, I didn't have this, but I had that on hand, and I made this, and I added mushrooms. And I'm like, awesome.
One of your next books, you should have like a fun contest for like your loyal followers and like incorporate some of the recipes into the book. You probably already figured that out though, but I think that'd be fun.
Take all the recipes and then I make all the money off of it. I'm sure everyone would love that.
No, you say, hey, ladies.
We frame it other ways.
You say, hey, if you would like to see, if you like, we're gonna allow like one recipe or 2 recipes into the next edition of the cookbook.
Oh yeah, that would be really
right.
Fun.
And then it's like, hey, like submit your recipes and we'll have a drawing or something like that. Make it fun. And then you're not making a whole chapter. Like, hey, thanks for all your great ideas.
Thanks, guys.
I'm gonna make all the money. Yeah, maybe I'll send you a free book. Maybe I will.
Right.
So, all right. Well, I want to respect your time and your evening. We'll let you go. You probably have more wine to drink.
For sure.
It's been a while since you've been on the show. I've still kept a very solid thing. I always want our audience to be left behind with just a powerful message from you that if they forget everything else and all the crazy stuff we discussed today, I've had a lot of work to do on the show notes for this one.
We're kind of all over the place.
I totally need a new intern for that one. What is something like big message behind everything you're doing, right? We talked about entrepreneurship, comedic work, obviously creating Eat Happy, trademarking it. You got a whole lineage of books to come. Like, why are you doing all this? Like, what are you trying to do moving forward besides getting your daughter to tattoo your arm?
Gosh, That's such a loaded question.
Right?
I guess coming back to the whole, like, look, I like performing, I like entertaining, and I like feeding people. I like making people laugh, and I like feeding people. Like, that's really what it comes down to. And whenever I'm able to have those opportunities to do that, I'm a happy person. So everything else is just part of the journey. And whenever I don't know, you know what, actually, when we talked about the negative stuff coming up, that was actually really powerful. And I feel like that's kind of where the meat of all of this is. Because if we were all just skipping stones from, just like, I'm jumping from one success to the next success, you don't learn anything and you don't have a journey. So if something really crappy is happening, what's that phrase they say in therapy? Like, if it makes you hysterical, it's historical. You know what I mean? If something like is really getting you crazy, it's because something is flaring up that's probably been bugging you for a long time and you've squashed it. So I feel like the thing that makes the happy thing so wonderful is the growth that you get from experiencing the negative stuff, and just be a little easier on yourself. I wish we'd all be a little easier on ourselves. That's kind of what this book is about too. Like, eat food that is good for your body, that also tastes good. You don't have to torture yourself and be on a diet and restrict yourself.
I love that.
That was really long-winded. That was like,
no, actually, thank you. It reinforces. I can't tell you how many times on the show, Anna, that we've brought up how the word diet is a bad 4-letter word. I do not support the term diet. I don't like it. It's a short-term mindset, and it has too much drama tied to it. And your cookbook is helping people do that. So good. Hang tight. I'll give you a proper goodbye. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Anna Vocino of EatHappyCookbook.com, AnnaVocino.com. I'm not kidding you. Please pick up this cookbook. If you care about yourself or somebody else in your life and you want them to find a healthier way of doing things, trust me, you will find at least one freaking recipe out of this book. I have found many, and my fiance has found many more. So again, check her out, AnnaVocino.com. Check out the blog post notes. You'll find it. But again, she's already hinted in her final words of this episode. She loves feeding happiness. She loves feeding people a healthier way of life. I'm going to go ahead and flip that word. She's fueling your health. And from this episode, some business and obviously your lifestyle. So thanks for listening in. Keep living the fired up epic life, people. We'll talk to you guys again soon. You're clear of the pod.
Yes!
Well, this has been awesome. I love all the energy. Yes.
Yay,
and thank you for braving the video. I like to get people out of their shell.
Once I put on some makeup, I was just fine.
Yeah.
And then
your lips were fabulous, by the way.
I've worn them off from drinking wine and drinking water.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me. Let me know when it comes up, when it's on. I'm sure you will.
I'm seriously it's going to be, I have a very aggressive week actually, but yeah, hold on.
I was going to say Christmas is very soon. So if you said it's before Christmas, that's very soon.
Well, because, hold on a second. You are in the, hold on. Let me go through. So yeah, Andy aired, Isaiah aired. These two guys are up next, and Vinny asked me to push them out as late as possible. So you are going to be in the next 3 episodes.
Great.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So maybe, hold on. Yeah. Yeah. Cause my editor hasn't gotten these back to me yet. So I could cycle you into the edits and then bang you out. So
great.
That probably sounded bad.
I know it sounded bad. Do you like Trello?
As you can tell, that's Trello.
Yeah. that was another one that I was trying to figure out. And then I was like, I can't.
All right. I love you, Anna. If you ever want me to just help you figure out just one, I put all my clients on it. Like, hold on. A friend of mine is a world champion kettlebell athlete, and she's launching a whole new brand called the Kettlebell Sport USA. So, because she's competed all over the world, she's 53 years old. And so this is just her little project management system that I've built for her. So,
wow, that's awesome.
So yeah, it's still in development because she's new to this too, and I don't want to overwhelm her.
Right.
But I literally got hooked on Trello because of the podcast. It was actually for me because I could visually see where I was at. And as I move somebody through the timeline to publish, I just drag your tile. Boom, 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 boom. I love it. Wow. And I'm overhauling somebody's whole social media campaign right now for their next brand launch. That's another whole thing in here. So yeah, I'm a gold member Trello user. So
okay. Well, thank you. I might take you up on that because
let me guess, you're thinking about it for the book?
And my head's exploding. Huh?
Yeah. You're thinking about it for the book?
For the book, it's just so many, You know what I mean? Like I need to be putting regular clips up of the new stand-up thing that we're doing. Like I need to be like,
well, I could tell you
cooking videos. Like it's just like my head's about to explode. And I do
what I just shared with you.
Yeah.
Is their new desktop app that launched. Before it was only web browser based. Right. And on the smartphone. That's actually a hard installed app now on the desktop.
And it will sync up if you want to grab your phone because you're out and about.
Everything.
That's awesome.
I literally was on a conference call 2 hours north of here out of a hotel lobby and was updating Trello from there. And it boom, right to my phone. And it's already on here. And
that's awesome.
It's great. And my editor is in Bosnia and doesn't speak a word of English. So every time I submit an episode to him, I submit it over my Google Drive. And then I talk to him on here. And he reads English. He doesn't speak it very well.
Right.
So, wow. Yeah, Trello is phenomenal, and I highly recommend it. And I have this integrated with other things too. Like if you use Slack.
You should do a Trello tutorial and have that be one of your YouTube content things. I'm telling you, people will go to that.
I could just use my podcast show as an example and do it right over Zoom, do it on video. Or if you're game,
content that people go to.
Or we just record our training session.
Okay,
and
we could do
I will
that.
teach you my ways. Because we go way back, and
totally.
And then I'll record that, and then you're a cameo, like, oh, look at that, Anna Vocino's in that training video, and then all of a sudden, you have a cookbook comes in front of the camera,
right? But it's true as far as recipe management. What have we taken photos of? What needs a photo? What needs to be made again? What's been made by the testers? What you know what I mean? It's like I literally have scratch paper of notes of recipes stacked into this notebook, and then I have about half of them typed up in a thing, and then I have in my email inbox about 65 emails from Tori telling her type that up, and then I don't know what to do with any of it because I know I need to put it together.
So literally,
and it's crazy.
This is you, and when I click on you, here's everything that you submitted through my online form.
That's great.
So everything that you went through my online form system, which by the way didn't even exist when you first came on my show, because I now use Acuity scheduling and everything else. And then once you're published, here's my entire show's history. Every episode that's ever been published. So when I upload other photos, you can do multiple photos on the tile here. So you have multiple photos. I'm telling you, man,
that's cool.
I mean, number one, I'm a little anal anyway with this stuff. So that works to my benefit. But Isaiah, who just aired, so I have, because I now do custom graphics because YouTube requires different graphic requirements than Facebook, than Instagram. Right. So I upload them all to here. That way I don't have to worry about where they're at. And I can literally go into the app, save it to my iPhone's hard drive, and then make my Instagram post from my iPhone because everything was in Trello.
That's great. And I could coordinate with Danielle, who's my social media lady. And
you can decide who you share this system with.
Because right now, poor thing, I'll send her a picture and be like, here's a new recipe, here's some language, make a tweet. I'm like, I don't know. And she's like, oh my God, I'm going to kill you.
Well, and again, if you're using the paid platform like I am, you can do
you get all the features.
You can get you can't tell, but there was a background behind all the tiles. I could put my client's logo there.
Oh, that's cool.
I can even tile the logo, so you can have a little flair. I mean, if you really wanted to.
You need flair.
Yeah, exactly. You need lots of badges and lots of flair. So, but no, I would be honored to help you out with that.
All right, thank you. I appreciate
and plus,
that.
and that's what I'll do. I'll just video our session and and share everything I've done. And maybe we'll if you set up your account, we'll log into your account. We'll just start building it out together. Okay. And do it that way.
Okay.
So when do you want to do that?
That'd be awesome. After the first of the year?
We do that.
All right.
Okay. Perfect. Again, now that you've been on the website, the scheduler's there. So just pick pick a coaching time that you're not going to be billed for. Pick a coaching time because that's different than podcasting. And by the way, while we were talking, I tried looking for all the other organic almond flours and on Thrive Market, and none of them say organic.
I know.
It's
this is
really
what I'm
annoying.
saying. And so I'm wondering if there's a business opportunity there or if all the companies have tried it and it's just too expensive. But I'm very curious.
They have organic almonds and it's Thrive Market brand. So I guarantee you somebody's private labeling.
Almonds,
yeah, that's their private
but not
labeling.
Almond flour.
No. So I guarantee you somebody probably is getting paid private labeling for Thrive Market because Thrive Market doesn't make that shit. They're paying somebody for that and say, hey, please private label your product and put Thrive Market on it.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, seriously, like go, hold on a second. Yeah. So I built all that new stuff into my scheduler functionality. So you can, just pick a coaching time, like business development or something like that. Ignore the whole pricing thing. And let's get you going, because this is what I do. Like, I'm a marketing strategist. Like, I give people strategy and I keep them organized. And it annoys me when I hear about that, because I've been there.
Is there a way you can use that video to help build your business? You know what I mean? Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why I don't care. Like, I'm not gonna, first of all, I love you. Second of all, I don't want to bill you. And third of all, great. Let's at least take some value out of that. And then I'll push it out to my YouTube channel, because I am working for 2018. I do want to build some type of online curriculum system just to help people with little things like this. And this would be, that would be a video that's like a free service.
Because it's people like me who are like, I have a thing going, I have a platform. I know I'm not maximizing it at all other than selling books, which is fine.
And especially as you grow your trademark and your brand, you're like, I have a VA, right? So I have a VA for the podcast, but then I have other VAs for other stuff, and they don't have access to the podcast. So then I can pick different boards to share with different virtual people.
Oh, that's cool. That's very good. And then
instead of everybody blowing up each other's email boxes, no, we live in Trello, and we just tag and talk in Trello.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Because my email, I get, like, I'm not exaggerating because of the voiceover stuff. Yeah. I get 250 to 350 emails a day.
Dear God.
It's so,
I didn't know it was that
because
bad.
I also am sending out auditions. I'm like,
you go, girl.
It's fucking insane. I can't. And then you know what I mean? It's out of control.
I love it. I mean, because it shows you're getting it done. That's why you went to New York too.
But that's probably why you didn't hear from me.
Yeah.
Because also too, I've turned off all notifications on my phone except for texts.
I do that every so often just to remind myself of how awesome it is.
Look, that's all I have on there are texts.
I love it.
Because I only will know if I have a Twitter or a Facebook or an Instagram if I go into those social media platforms and I'm deliberately responding to people, because I can't.
Yeah, the only thing that that's a great life hack. The only thing I reactivate is the little, I guess you would call it the red number 1 that pops up on each app. So the apps that I do want to know, but I don't want to blow it up on my freaking screen, I will allow that. So I've disabled all notifications, but then the apps I do, because I don't want to have to open the app.
Right.
So if I, like, for example, Facebook Messenger has now become a more great brand management tool. Facebook is pushing Facebook Messenger hardcore right now for business pages. So I've literally today I got 3 people that I have to respond to from my Live the Fuel page. They messaged me directly. So it's becoming a way to communicate with followers and stuff outside of the email chain. So just FYI. So
no, I like Facebook Messenger.
Yeah, and they reward you, and they tag your page if you respond to things within 24 hours. It says responds quickly within 24 hours.
Yeah, that's what I do. So that's good.
Yeah, they're
but
paying
I only do that because Danielle sends me the thing and says they're messaging you and you need to respond.
And again, you could create a board.
Danielle, I would be a mess.
You could create a tile in Trello just for Facebook communications, and then she could be bouncing those back and forth in there. How's she doing it now? Is she texting you or emailing you?
She forwards me a thing where she texts me and says, you need to check Facebook because there's a message for you. So bad, Scott. I'm telling you.
It's okay.
We tried Slack and I was like, I don't know, just text me.
I tried Slack. I tried Slack too. I was going to try, because Slack integrates great with Trello.
Does it?
But yeah, it does. They integrate beautifully. But I felt like I was having to use 2 freaking platforms, and I just wanted one platform. I'm like,
that's what I want. I want one platform.
Yeah. And if you want people to know you're talking to them in Trello, the only thing you do is you add the little @ symbol first, like you do on every other platform.
Yeah.
And if you only have one person that you shared that board with, as soon as I hit @ it's
almost like an instant message.
Yeah. As soon as I type in @ on the podcast board that I have, there's only one guy I've shared it with, David in frickin' Bosnia. So as soon as I type the word @ symbol, David's name gets suggested right away because he's the only person that's on that team.
Right.
Whereas my other board, I've got like an editor and blah, 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 blah. So I've got like 3 names pop up, and I just click on the one that I want to get tagged, and then I type what I want to say and hit enter, and they'll get a notification. That's great. We'll geek out. Yay. All right. I got to go. Thank you so much. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Keep you in the loop. Have a good night. Merry Christmas. Happy. Yes. The voiceover stuff is what you want me to do. Just rewrite like what I want to change. And that's it?
Oh, yeah. Send me specifically what you want me to, like, just send me the script.
Yeah.
If you want me to redo the whole thing, I'll redo the whole thing. If it's just a few sentences, but chances are for it to match, send me the whole thing.
It wasn't a long one. We kept it short and sweet anyway.
Okay. Well,
so
then
we should probably just read it over.
Yeah. And I'll send you back a couple of takes and you can pick the one you want or send it to your editor and he can pick it out.
Yeah. Which is even more reason why I want to help you with Trello. Because like
Yeah, totally. I'm happy to do that. Yeah, send it to me.
All right.
Cool. All right. I'll talk to you soon.
Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.